Family, listen up. I have a serious question, no trolling. Are black people too accepting of others into their culture, specifically Jamaicans?
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to Jamaica.
Well, actually, I am officially from Lebanon.
Jamaicans bathe a morning time. In Cuba, nobody no do that. I am not.
Me die Winifred Beach, and me just want to tell you, say, the reason me speak patois, or Jamaican, as me call it now, me not.
Jamaica has always been a hot spot for tourist destinations since I've been alive, but recently on social media, I've seen something else. I've seen people actually move to Jamaica. Cubans, Arabs, and Canadians are amongst the many fleeing to Jamaica to migration for a better life. Yeah, people, for a better life. People are now starting to move there for a better life, and this is becoming an ongoing trend on social media. I'm also seeing Jamaicans move back to Jamaica saying they don't know why they left and went to foreign, because foreign is not all it seems to be. If you don't have money, you can't live nice in Canada. You know what I mean? In Jamaica, if you don't have money, you can live a better quality of life than some people that even do have money.
And up in Canada, and when I was living in Canada, I faced lots of medical issues, especially skin and eczema and lots of complication. And then I thought maybe I can go somewhere where it's nice and hot, different weather. And I end up in Jamaica, call my community, Muslim community, and I end up in Jamaica.
And so there was a Muslim community here that helped you.
Yes, of course. They were very helpful. They were very helpful. And also when I came here, it's just like all my conditions disappeared and I felt normal and healthy and everything was like
Because of the sun.
100%. It's the weather, the sun, the earth, the food, the air, everything's in Jamaica helped me.
Is there anything you'd like people to know about the Muslim community here in Jamaica?
We can establish a better community here because they need really help and make them a better place for Muslims to be here.
Okay, so what's your favorite thing about wearing the hijab?
Oh, I love my hijab. I love my hijab. I'm so proud of my hijab. I consider myself lucky to have hijab and being in Jamaica because I feel I'm so respectful from many people, and I walk here so safe, so nicely, and people respect me so nicely.
How do people respond when they see you?
Number one, they think I am a nun, which fine, and also because I dress like Mary. And when they ask me why you dress like this, I say I dress like Mary. And they're surprised that I believe in Mary, which we love Mary, we respect her, and even Jesus. They were so surprised, so in shock. There are a lack of information about Islam, what we know, what we love, what we worship, and there's lots of information about Mary and Jesus, and that's why I'm happy to walk on the road with my hijab and talk about it.
And is there any challenges that you faced in your life, not just in Jamaica, but while wearing the hijab?
Personally, no, not really. But my daughter did. My daughter did face lots of challenge, lots of them. But we're working on it. And we try to, to inform people that this is not the Islam what they hear on media. They have to search for real Islam. And when they found it, they know what Islam is. It's about love, unity, care, share, and spread peace. And that's what I like to do here. And I love my life here.
Now, every now and then, I hear the conversation that black people in general, black people are too accepting of others into the culture. We're quick to bring other people into our culture, let people try our music, our food, our dances, let people into our homes when you watch certain vlogs and stuff. But when you look into other cultures, it's frowned upon to just give all your culture away, you know what I mean? Like, if someone comes to a Jamaican and asks them, we won't be hesitant to tell them something in our language or tell them something, of ours. But I noticed as a Canadian, when you try and embrace other people's culture, people are more hesitant. People think you're making fun of their culture. People are not as, I don't want to say as proud, but people are more prideful. I feel like Jamaicans are very proud, but when it comes to like prideful as like, this is my culture, don't touch it, Jamaicans are not really like that. Jamaicans are accepting of everybody, you know what I mean?
Greetings, me people. Greetings. Blessed love and respect. Me die Winifred Beach, and me just want to tell you, say, The reason me speak patois, or Jamaican, as me call it now. Me not call it patois again because it's a language. We call it Jamaican. Me speak it out of respect for the people them. Right? This other language of Jamaica, and we have enough respect for the people them. And me husband asked me to speak Jamaican from now on, and say, you know, you live your 6th year, it's time for you to speak Jamaican. So out of respect, me I learn the language and I practice. And you know, me not know everything, but me I learn. And this morning in the grocery store, the cashier was laughing, young gal, laughing at my patois. And me just make a joke and say, boy, it must sound funny to hear the Canadian accent. I speak Jamaican. And me just make a joke out of it. And she said, oh, please stop speaking patois. And me say, why? And she said, because it make me laugh so much and I feel embarrassed. I said, it's okay. You can laugh. I'm in a business. Me not stop chat. Anyway. Oh, anyway. I guess that's not Jamaican to say anyway. Alright, so the water cool. A Christmas weather this, them say, right? But enough wind and anyway, me blessed to be here. We go swim in Winifred Beach, sea water. All right, respect everybody.
It's funny how this Canadian woman goes down there and she's explaining her experience about how funny it is, how fun it is in Jamaica to learn the new culture. I guarantee me as a black man, if I go somewhere else, it's gonna be, if I go to India, if I go to anywhere besides some of these Latin countries, it's gonna be very hard for me to catch on, because they're gonna see me, they're not gonna want to embrace me into their culture, just like how a Jamaican would embrace an Asian person, a Jamaican will embrace an Indian person, a Jamaican will embrace anybody. You know what I mean? Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? Should you be selfish to your culture somewhat? You know what I mean? Because you, at the end of the day, I feel like you don't want people to take your culture so much, and then down the line, 100 years down the line, it's so watered down that they change the narrative now, like a Eurocentric point of view, if you know what I mean, that Jamaica was never a black country. Jamaica was always a multicultural country. You know what I mean? Don't let them rewrite history. You know what I'm saying? All this is the internet effect. I feel like because of the internet, the world is like, it's now flat. I'm not a flat earther, but now the world is flat. You can see what's happening in Canada. You can see what's happening in Greece. You can see what's happening, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say China because they don't have social media over there apparently. But you know what I mean? You can see what's happening everywhere. So now people who are living in places like Canada where it's hard to live here now. You know what I mean? They're looking at other places in the world like, is Canada even a third world country? You know what I mean? Are third world countries even third world countries compared to Canada? Because the hard living economy in Canada, it feels like a third world country. The other day, I was in the elevator in my building, and I was coming down, and there was like a water shut off in my building, whatever. So I decided, we're having a conversation in the elevator. I'm like, yo, I said to a lady, bro, lately this building's been feeling like a third world country. You know what I mean? And she's like, no, I know third world countries that are way better than this. You know what I mean? I've been to certain places. I've been to Jamaica, and I've never had no water for 24 hours straight. You know what I mean? And and things like that happen in Canada, believe it or not. You know what I mean? Like, there's people living harder than back home. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna play these videos. You guys can make your decision on what you think. Are Jamaicans too accepting of other cultures? You know what I mean? And another thing too, people didn't think Jamaica was such a good place to live out of the Caribbean. Why do people come to Jamaica out of all places in the Caribbean? Remember, Cuba is in the Caribbean too. They're living there because Jamaica has built up its infrastructure over there over the years. You know what I mean? These Cuban people are saying that their sewage system, you can't even flush toilet paper down the toilet. You wipe your bottom and you put the toilet paper in the garbage. Now, if you live out foreign like me, that's just, whoa, that's super crazy, diabolical, dirty behavior. But you have to understand, in these third world countries, you can't just flush toilet paper because the sewage system is not strong enough, or whatever the case may be. You might flood the whole crib. You know what I mean?
These are the 5 biggest cultural shocks I suffered as a Cuban moving to Jamaica. If you're new here, hi, my name is Flor. I am Cuban and I've been living in Jamaica for 21 1 years, and me still remember them 5 shockers here like it's today. Number one, throwing the toilet paper in the toilet. Cuba is a very different place right now, but back in my days, you couldn't do that. First of all, we didn't even add toilet paper. We did use newspaper, and then you have the little basket beside the toilet, and then you would have put the paper in there. So me did put the toilet paper in the basket, and my mother-in-law yard by mistake couple times. Number two, meat. When I went to Jamaica, I went to live with my mother-in-law, and she did have a helper. So the helper would have cook. And the first time I see the helper cooking, I swear say they might keep a welcome party for me. And I was like, oh my God, it looked like I missed the notice that they're keeping a welcome party. And then when dinner time come, miss everybody, I share them plate, and I'm like, no party, no, I keep again. And I asked my husband, and I say, you know, I keep party or something. He said, no, why you are asking? I said, but me I see a pot full of meat in the stove. Like, what is that? And he said, no, that is how we cook here. I'm like, excuse me? You see, in my Cuba, the one that I was coming from, we cook a little tiny piece of meat, and it's counted per person. Let's use an example of a chicken very quick. My family will slaughter a chicken at home. We take part of the chicken to make soup. That will be the 2 foot, the neck, and the intestines. The soup will be one meal. Another meal will be the leg and thigh them. And another meal will be the breast and the chicken back. 3 meals, 3 different meals out of one chicken. Me never adjust to them abundance them there. I was shocked. Number three, it was the lack of public display of love. You see, in Cuba, people are kiss, people are hug, people are make out, people are fill up one another in a public. People sometimes even in a public. And most time, I did have to find myself holding back when I was in public with my husband. And every time, like if I kissed him or anything, I just felt like everybody was like, "What are you doing? Get a room." You know, it was very uncomfortable. And 21 years later, after practicing that, I have found after visiting Colombia and Brazil, which are places where people do that, just like in Cuba, I feel like, boy, me really miss out in hug and kisses. Number four. Jamaicans bathe a morning time. In Cuba, nobody no do that. I am not saying it's because we are nasty people, but because we don't really have the resources. We don't have the water. We don't have soap. We bathe 2 times for the day. So in a Cuba, it's normal for a man to wake up a morning time, wash his face, and a woman wake up a morning time and she wash her face and she wash her and go about them business. Number five, and this was one of the biggest adjustments I had to make. And it was wearing a brassiere and just changing my general way of dressing. Jamaicans' way of dressing, Jamaicans' style is impeccable. I have been to many different countries and I have never seen anybody who dresses as well as a Jamaican does. And I am so glad and thankful that I adopted that type of that part of the culture, because my IG name is Cubana that style thanks to Jamaica. I literally went to Jamaica without a brassiere. I never did wear one to begin with. One of the first type of shopping that my mother-in-law took me to was to buy underwear. She's like, do you want to go shopping? I said, I couldn't even say yes. And she's like, let's just go buy some brassieres. My to them never did long. I was 20 years old, okay? And another thing was adjusting to the way that you dress to go to work. You see, when a Jamaican dress to go to work, it come like them a go out somebody wedding, you know. Everybody dress up. It dress up with so much taste and meticulously. I had to adjust that because in Cuba, you just wear your shorts and slippers to go at work. No matter what your line of work is, nobody know a dress up figure at work. So I had to take time to learn that part of Jamaican culture, and it was an absolute shock to see that somebody who works in a very regular industry, meaning like this person is not a lawyer or a doctor, that they dress up dress up to the T. So these are the 5 shockers that I lived when I moved to Jamaica back in 2003. And let me tell Uno give thanks for what Uno have, because some people like Cubans don't have it like you do. Thank you so much for watching. Much love.
Like I said, the internet effect is real. That's why they want to get rid of things like TikTok, because TikTok spreads the word so much. You know what I mean? Like, you will hear things on TikTok, it will go viral. The average person could talk about their experience and it will go viral on TikTok. That's why they want to ban it, because they don't want the average person's word going viral. You don't want a bunch of people in one area saying, oh, this place sucks, so we're going to go over here, and then talk about how much they're enjoying it. And this is supposed to be a first world country, and this is supposed to be a third world country. Now it seems like we've been lied to our whole lives. I feel like Jamaica's a first world country. Jamaica has fresh water. Jamaica has, you know what I mean, good food. Like, people are complaining, saying, yo, when I'm in Canada, I'm depressed. When I go to Jamaica, I'm happier. My skin is all patched up when I'm in Canada. When I go to Jamaica, my skin's clear. So how do we differ what a first world country is from a third world country? If you're not providing all the necessities to everybody in this first world country, then it's just the same as a third world country. No?
5 cultural shocks I suffered when I moved to Jamaica from Cuba. Hi, my name is Flor. I am Cuban and I live in Jamaica for 21 years now. And up to this day, me not stop for shock over them 5 cultural things here. Number 1, food for breakfast. Me say, come morning time, me could not believe me eye. See where I come from, Cuba. Breakfast time is barely a little sip of coffee if you're lucky. If you are a little bit more privileged, you may have some cow's milk and maybe a little bread. Member say it's 21 years since me left, but this is what me remember about the Cuba I left behind. You see, when you reach a Jamaica now, me say boiled dumpling, me say liver, me say kidney, me say ackee and saltfish with dumpling and food, me say rice and peas and all that dinner and morning time. Up to this day, I not exaggerate, I not tell no lie. Me can't get over the fact that Jamaicans have a whole meal for breakfast. Number 2, manners and respect. Me don't know what was it about the Cuba me left behind, but we never did practice manners and respect. My grandmother always did tell me that manners and respect in Cuba died in 1959. You see, if you buck up on somebody, you just buck up on somebody and move. You see, if it's morning time, you just wake up and move. You see, if it's evening time, you just walk through and move. But you see, in a Jamaica now, you better practice your manners and respect. You have to say good morning. You have to say good evening. You have to say good night. If it's a night time and you know I go asleep, you still have to say good night. If you buck up on somebody, you have to say sorry. You have to say sorry. You have to say sorry. You better say sorry. Boy, me wish Cuba will take up back manners and respect. Number 3, eating out. You see the Cuba I left behind, going to restaurants? That was not in my vocabulary. The liquor restaurant that did exist were owned by the government, and let me tell you, you don't want to name that food there. Eating out for my family was almost like a taboo because we were so afraid that we will get sick. So every time we will travel to another province for health reasons, for whatever reason it would be, we carry our own food, we carry our own liquor bottle with juice and them thing there fi eat, and you will not eat out because you don't know where them process them food, you don't know what did they in that food, and there was no guarantee that you will find food a road. But you see Jamaica now, you just go a restaurant, you don't need no special occasion, restaurant just dead. You have fast food restaurant, you have regular restaurant, you have cook shop, you have people that sell a roadside pan chicken and them thing there. A different culture this. Number 4, helper. I mean, no say everybody in Jamaica don't have no helper, but we can't deny say Jamaica has a helper culture because it's very affordable and it's very necessary. Up to this time, I have no helper. There's one lady that come and clip me yard once or twice per week, and that's about it. But my husband family did have the helper culture, and she always did have a problem with me. She always She never did like me because she's like, Miss, you need to sit down because I always want to wash the dishes and me always want to clean the yard and me always want to wash the clothes. And she's like, that is my job. She's one of the people them who helped me to learn English when I first moved to Jamaica. We used to sit down with her and talk to her, and we had so much in common because she come from country. And when I described my life in Cuba, it was very, very similar to her country life in Jamaica. In Cuba now, Elpa? That is back in the day before 1959, and even I will say maybe a little bit after 1959, people will still have helpers in their house. People were rich, and so, but after everybody don't migrate to America, or the rich people in Cuba don't go into America, that culture died. Nowadays, you do have some people who have helper, but these people who have helper is people who run Airbnb. So it's somebody that they will pay to come to the house, come clean and do all them things there. But like living helpers and nanny and all them things, me never left that in a Cuba. Me never lived that in a Cuba yet. Number 5 is transportation. In a Cuba, public transportation, taxi, have your own car, them things they don't exist over there. So no, 21 years ago when me left, nobody could have car. Now things change a little bit. But public transportation is still a struggle. Taxi is still a struggle, and it's very expensive. I know everybody can afford taxi. So let me tell you what you are doing in Cuba. You are hitchhike. You are standing on a roadside, said your answered stop, and pray say one big truck full of a cane or whatever it is stop for you and pick you up. Other than that, a foot of hype. You see, when it comes to Jamaica now, public transportation dede, taxi man dede, and if you have little money, you can buy your own vehicle. Me say me dey drive in a car, go everywhere. Me come to Jamaica, go sit down in a car with my husband, automatic vehicle, and me get this, me get car sick because me not accustomed to them fancy vehicles there. So again, uno better appreciate what uno have. Uno better give thanks for what uno have, because other people don't have it like uno. These are the 5 cultural shocks I experienced when I moved to Jamaica from Cuba. Thank you so much for watching. Mucha love.
With the internet, you can see everything. You can see the good parts of places, and you can see the bad parts of places. For a long time, they were trying to push a narrative that Jamaica was a crime-ridden island. You know what I mean? Full of the bad man and the shotters, them, right? But over time, with all these people going to personal vlogs and, you know what I mean, going to places like Negril, you know what I mean? Even the good places in Kingston, Mobay, all these places. You're realizing Jamaica's a beautiful country with beautiful people, nice food, with respectful people. You know what I mean? It's not all about the badness that you see there. You know what I mean? Even though it's there, it's everywhere too. You know what I mean? Please comment under this video. Do you think black people or Jamaicans are too accepting of other people into the culture? Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Like I said before, I think it's a good thing, right? Because why not be nice? And it's called hospitality, right? Show hospitality. But at the same time, it can have a negative effect when people come to your culture, they take from your culture, and they don't put back into your culture. People, make sure you like the video. If you watch the video for this long, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. You know what I mean? Don't be on some waste man activities, watching the whole video and then not liking it. You know what I mean? Ninja watching. Make sure you subscribe to the content. You know what I mean? Till the next one, I'm off of this.